And welcome, Red Leaf Retrocasters. I'm your host, JD, joined here with Colin.
How you doing, Colin? I'm doing okay. This past week of work has been a real clusterfuck. The past couple of weeks, really. It's been pretty draining. But I've been keeping my head above water.
That's the spirit.
I actually just recently got the chance to tag along for a day with a certain electrical company. Basically one of their journeymen to basically dip my toes into being an electrician. It's a pretty
good job. It's always nice to do those things before you make a full dive. Say.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool thing. Pretty cool gig. Just went into Toronto, installed some pot lights in a dude's apartment.
Pot lights?
Yeah.
Like growing weed pot lights?
No.
Lights in a planted pot? Am I getting warmer?
Wouldn't that be funny?
I want to see my plants physically, I want to see my plants emanate lights during the night. Pot lights.
That'd be pretty sweet.
No, I'm wrong.
Bioluminescent plants.
Yes, exactly. I want to make my plants give off the illusion they glow in the dark.
When in reality, they're radioactive.
Oh. Have you ever seen the show Eureka?
Sounds familiar.
Well, it's a sci-fi show. There's an episode where I believe it was Eureka. I hope I have this right. I hope it's not X-Files or anything. I mix my crazy sci-fi stuff up all the time. There's an episode where there's an agricultural phenomenon going on, and everyone's getting poisoned or something.
Oh yeah.
Or they're getting put to sleep or whatever it might be. And turns out this plant was bioengineered by a kooky scientist.
Oh yeah.
And it glows in the dark at night, and it pollinates when it's doing that. It opens up, and it emits all the spores. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I remember the show Eureka's Castle. It was a kids show. And the anime Eureka
familiar.
7.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
I've only seen a few episodes.
Wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, but other anime fans constantly sing its praises.
Yeah, it's just one of those that always seems odd and out of place to me. Much like Dot Hack.
Ah, yeah. I totally agree on that one.
I just don't get it. So I had to go into work yesterday morning for some stuff. So, yeah, work's been up and down for me as well. But I show up every day nonetheless. I do my job. The big bonus yesterday was right afterwards, big Labor Day sale. I meant to get a new snowboard last year.
Oh.
Right? 2 years ago, I got the new snowboard pants, new gloves, new goggles, the whole, all that stuff. And then last year I was going to get a new board. Well, the winter last year was the worst I've ever experienced in my life.
Oh, yeah.
There was just no snow. And when there was, it just went to ice right away. So
that sucks.
Not ideal for boarding. So I ended up not getting a board last year.
Ah, yeah.
This year, I was like, I'm gonna go no matter what. That's what I'm gonna do this year. And I was informed that this one mountain called Wachusett Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Or Wachusett. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know all these names here. I was informed that they have this just massive Labor Day sale, and it's kind of like a little party out there. It did get pretty packed around noontime, but right after work, I drove over there. It's only an hour away, and I was like, okay, I see all the boards. I was like, I don't want a Burton board. I've been writing Solomons for the past 5 years.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I really like Solomon boards. Came down to the choice between a ride, a couple Solomons, and a couple Rosignol's. And I haven't ridden a Rosignol since I was a beginner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just, I fell in love with this board. It had all the specs I wanted. I wanted to go a little bit more freestyle. I've been doing all around for like 9 years, an all around board.
Ah, yeah.
And freestyle will allow me to kind of do more things, I guess, is how I can say it. And so, yeah, I got a new Rosignol freestyle board. It's called the Saw Blade.
Oh.
Yeah, so, you know, the name is like at least 30% of importance with your snowboard. That's the rule. The other 40% is how cool it looks, you know, the colors.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's way important. It's this dark blue and black mixture.
Nice.
Got cool white bold letters on the backside that says Saw Blade.
Ooh, badass.
I know. And then the other, you know, like 30% is, you know, how it rides.
You had a chance to try it? Oh, wait, no. It's summer. What the hell am I saying?
It is, yeah, it's September. Not quite. But it was cool. I got new bindings because mine broke 2 years ago.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, that was kind of like, I think it's time I need new stuff.
Yeah, I think I need a new board. I've been riding the same one since high school.
Yeah, my Solomon is still, you can still ride it. It's just got a lot of chips now, and the front's peeling off. So if I just take like major epoxy glue, I can repair it, and then, you know, butter it up on the bottom and all that jazz.
Yeah,
but I think it was time. Yeah, I think it was time that I just get a new one. Yeah, I got a really good deal on that. Got new bindings, Solomon bindings, with extra ankle support, and they're a little higher going up my calf muscle, so I can get more balance and ankle control. So I was like, yes, I need that so bad. I'm 31 now. My ankles are thrashed. So that was my big weekend.
Nice.
I was doing that. Yeah. They gave me a free like lift pass to go see the sights of the mountain area. That was kind of relaxing, and got to see all the local geology on a little hike once I got to the top.
Cool.
Had a what did I have? I had like a veggie burger situation that I tried out. It wasn't bad, actually. It was homemade, so it wasn't like tofu ridden or whatever they call it. I don't know what veggie burgers are actually made out of. I assume not all vegetables.
Yeah, it seems to be a big thing nowadays with the whole Beyond Meat thing.
I mean, it was there. It was like, $4. Yeah, sure, I'll try it. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I remember visiting an A&W a while back. For those who don't know, that's a Canadian burger chain. Famous for its root beer.
It's also in the Americas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
My mom actually, I think her first job was at an AEW.
Ah, yeah.
A&W. AEW is a wrestling organization.
Yeah. I've just figured it's been more of a Canadian thing, like Harvey's. But
well, Harvey's is, well, the name's not technically outside Canada, but it's called Hardee's in the United States. It's the same thing, same symbol. I don't know why. Something my gut tells me that, oh yeah, we'll bring Harvey's down to America, eh? What'd you say, Hardee's? Oh yeah, sure, you can bring Hardee's down here, and that's how it named.
Yeah, like I was saying, went to A&W a while back, and they were selling the Beyond Meat burgers, and then we found out they were sold out. So they got to be doing something, right? Yeah,
I did enjoy it. I put some relish and some mustard on there. I was like, this is pretty good. Listened to some live music, and then drove back home and played. Segue here. Played Control.
Oh.
With I streamed it, and my mom hopped on the stream and watched, and we were bullshitting together watching it.
Nice.
Played the first couple hours, and game is weird.
The
game is weird. Yeah, Mom and I are both big X-Files fans, big sci-fi horror type stuff, and I was like, this will be a good dip in your toes kind of game for us.
Oh yeah.
Talking to my mom. She's kind of bored and she wants a little hobby. And I was like, hey, you want a podcast?
Nice.
She goes, yeah, that sounds interesting. And I go, well, hold that thought. My cat is chewing a cable cord. That's very
Bad kitty.
Kitty, no. Get off there. Bad kitty. Right in your mouth. Nuh-uh. Okay. No, I don't want to play. Don't bite my calf muscle. Okay. Did you get all that?
Yeah. Biting your calf.
Being bad kitty. Yeah. It seems like every podcast I record these days, there's always kitty trouble. Mischievous kitty. Where was I? Oh, yes. Streaming control. So my mom, we're going to the goal is to kind of make it a once a week thing where, at least for a modern game, I'll stream it, she'll watch, hang out, and then come podcast time for the modern cast, we'll just get her thoughts over the game she watched.
Cool.
It'll be very timely. Yeah, a vastly different perspective, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, Control, for those that don't know, just came out last week, upon recording here.
Uh-huh.
And you are the main character, Jessie Faden.
Ooh.
Quite like the name. She walks into a building called the Federal Bureau of Control. And it is her belief that they're the ones that took her younger brother many, many years ago.
Oh.
And she's been searching for this bureau ever since. And she finally found them. And when she gets there, there's no one at the desk. No one's in the offices. Just nothing. Right? It's very creepy. You're finding documents, and you're reading the documents of, like, things are starting to happen. Like, ooh, lockdown enforced. Someone's, like, in the middle of writing a memo, and then it just stops out of nowhere, kind of thing.
Huh.
The game is very heavy on reading the documents of, like, what unfolded there exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very the developers Remedy.
Yeah.
So the Alan Wake people.
Yep, I like that game.
Yeah, so it's if you've played Alan Wake and you like Alan Wake, I think you'll like Control, because it's very much in that same realm of unlock the world through all the other stuff and then play the game in the action way. It's very weird. You played Hellblade?
Yep.
Okay, so Hellblade had the kind of realistic semi-cutscenes, right?
Yep.
With the real people and the FMV kind of stuff going on.
Yep.
Control does that as well in their cutscenes, where it'll show real FMV type people
Uh-huh.
mixed in with the game itself, with our main character. So it's like, you know, it's off-putting at first, but Hellblade did it very well, and I do like how Control's doing this weird mind-bending aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there is a... Go on.
I've heard a lot of comparisons to SCP, which is like fictional thing. Secure, contain, protect. Basically sort of a fictional universe where all these supernatural phenomena are found and contained in a single facility.
Yes, that is exactly what the baseline of Control is. Because you're in this building, it's called the Oldest House.
Oh, yeah.
And you find out very quickly that the building actually, like, moves and morphs.
Oh, yeah?
So that's why she has never been able to find this building before. They reference they're in New York. She goes, I've been in New York a lot. And then the woman just goes, yeah, the building moves and changes. You know, we like to be by ourselves, kind of thing. Don't bring attention. It's like, oh, okay, makes sense. Sci-fi stuff, right? Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of inner monologue.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be two characters speaking, and in between phrases or sentences, you'll get an inner monologue, like, sentence over Jesse Faden's thoughts on the situation. Like, they're going over, she qualifies now as the new director of Control, the Federal Bureau of Control, due to crazy gun sci-fi stuff. And so this woman's given her the rundown of what she needs to do to get rid of the supernatural, right?
Yeah.
And it'll then all of a sudden cut. So do I lie to her? Do I tell her about my brother? Another sentence from the woman. No, I'm going to keep it to myself from now. I can't trust them. And then she'll say a sentence that, diverts from what she's contemplating.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you really have to read the documents and stuff you find around the world, and then B, listen closely to the inner monologue, because that's giving away a lot of things of, like, what the character is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely my kind of game. I could easily see a lot of people just not being into this at all.
Sounds a bit like BioShock or System Shock.
System Shock's probably a better comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also the gameplay itself, the action, and I'll go more into it when I play, obviously, more of the game, but for the modern cast. But you have a gun, and I just unlocked the telekinetic powers, and it's a lot like Psyops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Psyops was an old PS2 game that had a big cliffhanger ending, and I loved the game. I loved, all the mind control stuff, the pyrokinesis, all that. It was really cool action game, Mindgate conspiracy, soldiers for the government. Hello, kitty cat, running around, blah, blah, blah. God damn it. And then it just ends on this huge cliffhanger. The game didn't sell well, and a sequel never came out. I was like, fuck. I love that game, too.
Yeah.
So I guess Control is going to feed that, 18-year-old missing piece.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that should be could be a podcast topic in the future. Games that ended on cliffhangers but never got a sequel.
Oh, that would be... Man. Well, Psyops is one of them.
Of course, that's awfully specific.
That's very specific. We'd have to already have a games in mind for that.
Yeah, have to dig really deep for that.
And then just I'm trying to finish a lot of games from this year that I played for the podcast and then liked, and then just picked up something else because I had to or wanted to. So Katana Zero, Baba Is You.
Ooh.
I'm still working through Judgment. So those, yeah. Oh, and Wargroove. I'm right at the end of all three of those games, and I'm halfway through Judgment. So I'm okay. Oh, and Devil May Cry 5. I gotta beat that too. Fuck. I gotta really beat all these games.
Nice.
So Katana Zero and Wargroove are 1-2. I plan on beating them today after the podcast because I'm so close to the end, and then I'll pick away at the other ones.
Nice.
And then I booted up No Man's Sky for the first time in probably 6 months. And I did that because, I did it a while ago because the big Beyond update happened. You remember reading about that?
Vaguely.
So the Beyond update was you can drive cars, you can build your own base, more online interface with actually meeting other players, etc., etc. And then this new update gave it PSVR ability, something I've been waiting on for a very, very long time. And I was this is a good chance to dive back into No Man's Sky so I can get more of the Beyond update and fucking play it in virtual reality.
Nice.
And holy shit, Colin.
Yes?
No Man's Sky is now a great game. I had a lot of trouble defending the game at first because I was okay, it was 6 to 8 hours of relaxing, do nothing, just kind of roam around, make your own galaxy at the end. Because that's what I did. How can I get to the end of this thing to make my own galaxy? Which I did. And then I was like, okay, don't want to play anymore. Whatever. I had my relaxing 6 to 8 hours. Whatever. Served its purpose for me. But then the problem is that's not what the game was supposed to be. It was supposed to be you constantly explore, you always explore, and you want to keep exploring.
Yes.
That was the big problem. Well, the Beyond update fixed that, and then the VR update makes it like the scariest game of the world.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll give you one instance of an experience I had.
Okay.
So here we go. You ready?
Okay.
You ready for this? Here I was, on a distant planet out in the stars, never once discovered before. I had landed my ship. I exited to a land unbeknown to mankind. I got my geology laser out. Here I was, mining for iron ore, perhaps plants over on yonder.
Okay,
I look upon into the distance, and I see a mineral I have yet to have discovered before. Or so I thought. I went, oh, I will rename it. Ass 943, perhaps. No Man's Sky is good again, Rock. I don't know. The mental juices were flowing within me. The creativity was beyond, one might say.
Oh.
So I go up to this rock. I start mining it. Within seconds, it pops into a creature into my face. Oh, a fright into my face. I will be in this epic battle of proportions of this new creature I've never seen before. But no, it scampers away. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, heart jumped a little bit, but I am okay. Back to mining. My thoughts went through. Then I hear behind me a I went, what is that, Jason? Are you there? It's from behind. I look behind me and fuck! I'm dead! A giant giraffe-like praying mantis thing.
Oh shit.
Cut me in half.
Oh damn.
I was dead. A bigger fright. And I went, huh. Maybe this land is not for me. So that's the kind of stuff I experienced in No Man's Sky PSVR.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's just the creatures are like way better now. Some are more aggressive, so I guess what happened was when I attacked the fake plant creature, that I scared it off. And it was going to attack me, but the thing that was behind me was much bigger and scarier, so then it ran away. So then because I heard the screech, I wasn't able to hear the bigger monster coming up from behind me.
Oh,
until the screech guy was gone. So yeah, PSVR, No Man's Sky, it's like one of the best PSVR games out there now. I would put it in my top 10 easily.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. What have you been playing?
Oh, quite a few. I finally beat A Hat in Time.
Oh, how was that game?
That game is so much fun.
Adorable.
Damn right. Although with a bit of an edge to it. There's a few bits that are kind of up there.
Okay.
I had so much fun with the game that after beating it, I wanted to get all the trophies. So that's what I did. All 100% of them.
So you platinumed it?
Yes, I did.
Wow. I've never gotten a platinum trophy.
Well, Hat in Time's trophies are fairly easy to get, comparatively speaking. But, man, just love this game. It kind of, from what I understand, I don't think the PS4 version is getting DLC for it, which kind of sucks, but I think the Switch version is going to get it, so
that's weird.
I'll just add it to my list there.
Huh.
But man,
I wonder if the PS4 DLC will come later.
Possibly.
I can't imagine they wouldn't release DLC.
Yeah, just
for all systems.
Just remember the developers themselves mentioning that there's there were some technical problems with implementing the DLC with PS4's version.
Huh. Strange.
I'll figure it out. The game itself...
What did you think of the bosses? Because the amount of Hat in Time I played, I thought the boss battles were too easy. Did they get harder? Or at least a little challenge to them all?
I liked them. I mean, I really liked the Toilet of Doom boss. You're just fighting a haunted outhouse in the spooky forest. It's probably my favorite fight.
Outhouses are terrifying. Especially in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
speak from experience. It's just a hole. It's a wooden box that's over a hole. I assume this outhouse was not that.
Well, it was a wooden box, but it had something inside of it.
Was there a raccoon that would come out of it and attack you?
Not quite, but it did spew sewage at you.
Oh, I suppose that's bad too.
And exploding apples.
Exploding apples out of an outhouse.
Yeah.
I see.
And there's another point. You have to explore a haunted mansion with the ghost of an angry queen stalking you the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Think Silent Hill meets Slender meets Among the Sleep.
That's really cool. I like that. Yeah, I really got to go back to Hat in Time. In time.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and I love the soundtrack. I've also been playing God of War 2 more.
You did mention that, I believe, on the last cast that you just started it?
Yep, and I think I'm about halfway through it. I've just gotten past the Atlas part. It's just as fun as the first game, if not more so. And it really manages to up the level of epic from the first game.
Yeah, God of War is just one of those franchises that knows exactly what it is and what they're going for. And
yeah.
The first two games were excellent, and then the third one went just balls to the wall crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the PS4 version of it.
I never played Ascension.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll end up playing that one or not.
It's supposedly one of the best graphical PS3 games, but I guess that was just at the tail end where everybody was tired of God of War because the PSP games had come out.
Oh, yeah.
I have those too. Also fun. Yeah, I just burned out from the franchise, and then I think commercial failure, because the game wasn't bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the commercial failure of Ascension, I think because of that, the studio went, okay, we gotta really try something new here, and that led to God of War Valhalla. Or God of War Kills Norway. I don't know. make up your own title, because I'm not calling it just God of War. I refuse.
Yeah, and Dad of Boy is overused.
Well, Dad of Boy is a good title too. But you gotta spell boy B-O-I.
Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the action in God of War 2. It made it just everything that made the first game so good.
Yeah.
The second game improved it and added things. It was a true sequel.
Hell yeah. I've also been occasionally revisiting Celeste and Dead Cells.
Oh, of course, yes.
I am super out of practice with Dead Cells, but I still managed to reach the big eyeball boss.
I'll never beat that game. I've given up hope. I'm not good enough. Much like Sekiro. I've just cashed in my chips. I'm like, man, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as Celeste is concerned, I've still been stuck on the seaside of level 5. That section is beyond Sekiro hard, and that is not an exaggeration.
Oh boy.
The seasides are just punishingly hard. Of course, I'm going without assist mode, but that's just me being stubborn, I guess.
We all need a little stubbornness in our lives.
And lastly, I've been playing further into Legend of Heroes, and I'm finally on the final chapter. Everything seems to be coming to a head, but somehow the game just still hasn't well and truly grasped me. I don't know what it is. It's just not hooking me, per se.
How often do you find yourself dropping games? Like, if something doesn't grab you right away, or you feel moderately satisfied and you can put a game down and just play something else, how often does that happen with you?
Not that often. I mean, I'm kind of a completionist, but at the same time, I just tend to get bored with games, and I put them down thinking I'm going to come back to them at a later date, but then I think, at a later date, I was like, is this really worth it?
Yeah, that's what I ask myself. I go, do I really care enough to beat this when I could just play something else and get more satisfaction out of it?
Yeah.
That's how I always look at things. So I drop games all the time, and I rarely complete games these days, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have been completing more retro games, though, for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're much shorter.
Yeah. I
was like, 2 hours, 4 hours? Yeah. No problem.
Nice.
All these modern games are like 12, 30, 50 hours long. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was out yesterday. I had gone to a local retro gaming store to see if they had a service for fixing PS4 controllers, because mine is acting a little wonky. Basically,
instead of buying like a new $70 thing.
It's like whenever I push the analog stick a certain direction forward, the character on screen won't move properly, just go at a walking pace instead of the running pace I want it to. Like that kept
Sounds like Sekiro broke your controller.
That actually is, I think, what happened.
Uh-huh.
It's just so...
You don't say.
It was just so roped into the action. It was just like, go! Just like pushing super hard on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Although at the same time, whenever I use the L2 button, the characters keep moving forward. Because that keeps happening with A Hat in Time and Enter the Gungeon. So it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, you need a new one, it sounds. Or at least repair it in some way.
Yeah.
I had that issue with my left analog stick on my Switch controller or the left Joy-Con, and I was like, went on Amazon, got my little $10 little kit, and I had to calibrate it like twice, and it's worked ever since. So I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I think I was there for that.
Yeah, you were there, and you're like, something's odd, and as soon as it got calibrated that couple times, it hasn't done that ever since. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't have to spend $80. Thank you.
Well, the guys at the shop were able to refer me to a certain shop the next town over. So
that's good.
I haven't gone there yet, but I'm planning to in the near future. But point of the story is, I was on my way back on my bike, and then I'm passing by a pawn shop, and I'm like, I wonder if they have any games. So I walk in there. They've got some super cheaply priced games. Not as big a selection as the retro game store, but you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And lo and behold, I found a $10 copy of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, how about that?
I was like, oh, hell yes, I need this right now. And then, so I went to pay for it, and then turned out they had a sale that day, 25% off, so I got it for $7.50. Canadian.
Hell yeah.
$7.50 Canadian. How about that?
I applaud your retro find.
Hell yeah.
Very jealous. That's kind of like when I went into and got all those Atari and Intellivision games.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50 cents for like that handful there. Like, cool.
Nice. Yeah, doesn't Knights of the Old Republic go for like over $100 on eBay?
I will look it up on price charting. Give me a second here. Star Wars. Knights of the Old Republic. It is $10
Oh.
on the Xbox.
Oh well. Still a good price.
You got the Xbox game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it goes for about $10.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I wonder which one you're mixing it up with.
I just remember looking on. Well, maybe it was the PC version I'm mixing up with. I don't know.
Let's see. I just typed in Star Wars for. Okay, price high to low. The most expensive Star Wars games, I won't count the Ewok Adventure prototype. Super Star Wars for the Return of the Jedi for the Super Famicom goes for $260 easy.
Damn.
That's the expensive one. And for some reason, the Star Wars Kinect game goes for $150. Yeah, Star Wars games aren't really anything more. They're not really going more than $35. Besides that, I just named. Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's move on to our topic. By the way, the episode is over launch titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we ever mentioned that, but it's in the title, so whatever. All right, let me play this drop, and we can move along.
All right.
Fatality, Colin. Fatality. Okay. Got some fun little topics here. And then we'll go into our last one before we get into our retro theme of the episode, console launch titles. Topic 1, I think, is the most polarizing, or at least the one that pisses the most people off. And then I have 4 more that are actually good news. So, NBA 2K has actual gambling in it. Like, actual gambling.
Yeah, I was...
E for everyone. Ages 3 and up.
Oh,
gambling.
Yeah. That is super scummy.
So, when I think of, man, I'm playing my basketball game, something's missing. What would make my basketball game better? Aha. Got it. Slot machines.
Roulette. Dice.
Pachinko machines. Oh, yes. That is what I clamor in for my basketball games.
Yeah.
So people give a lot of shit for EA and Ubisoft and their practices. I think Ubisoft is more, I guess, controlled with it, so to say.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's there. It's kind of aggravating, but it's not. I don't know. They're holding back. That's what it feels like to me. They're not total scum. They're scum, but not total scum. EA has proven they're total scum. Yep. And I always bring up in forums or on Twitter when people DM me over my apparently awful video game opinions. I'm like, dude, 2K is right up there with EA. And they're like, no, it's fine. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? 2K and Warner Brothers are just... They're there, but because they're not EA, they're not the big one. They don't have the Star Wars thing with it. Every game that they put out is microtransaction, just garbage, right?
Yeah.
So lo and behold, NBA 2K20 is coming out, and their launch trailer just set the world on fire because of how egregious it was. Have you seen this trailer?
Yes, I have, and it is sickening.
It's quite disgusting.
Yeah.
They're glorifying gambling.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question.
Yeah.
There was zero. I don't know how you could defend it. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I can't think of any logical way to defend it. And thing is, the ratings board, PEGI in Europe, they gave it a 3 and up rating. And Yang Ya did a video about it. He was quite disgusted with them because they actually sent out a response trying to defend their decision. They're like, "Oh, we haven't actually played the game yet. We don't know that all this stuff is actually gonna be in there." It's like, well, then don't rate the game. If you don't know
rate it yet,
everything there is to be in there, why are you rating it now? Then again, we all know the answer to that. 2K bribed them.
It's something. Yeah, it's something like that. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't played it or you don't know what's in it, then you can't rate it. That's unethical.
And what makes it even more disgusting is the fact that with, I think it was Pokemon Red, Pokemon Fire Red, that got rated 12 and up because it had a single slot machine in it, but that's a game where you don't put actual money into it. That's just like in-game currency to a single slot machine. That's not even
that's just
really...
your in-game money that you get just playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now...
That's 12 and up.
Yeah, but a game where you do put actual money into it to play slot machines, roulette, and pachinko, that gets a 3 and up. That gets a milder rating. That is illogical, to say the least.
Yeah, well, ethics are being exposed more and more for whatever industry you're in, but just sticking to the video game industry, more and more is being exposed, and unless people just don't buy these things, Colin,
yeah,
and listeners, I was that guy that bought just about every sports game year to year. And over time, it's gotten to like every other year. Then it was like, well, I'm seeing these mechanics and I'm not seeing the improvements that I like. Then it was every 3 years. This goes all the way back to the early 90s.
Yeah.
Not joke. Like my first NES games, like half of them were sports games.
Oh yeah.
So, I haven't bought an NBA 2K game since whatever the Jay-Z one was, and I was like, okay, I think I can. They took out too many things that I enjoyed about it. Very much the same with NHL, when EA decided that half the modes just don't need to be in this year's game anymore. I'm like, well, if you don't want it, then I'm just gonna keep playing last year's game situation. Right? I just don't buy them, and moves like this just encourage me to now come on a podcast and say, now everybody else shouldn't buy it. Because before it was just my viewpoint of, no, I don't like where the game's heading kind of situation. It's not doing enough for me. I'll maybe wait till next year. Now I'm just going, I'm not buying from the whole company kind of situation.
Yeah, same.
It's gotten that egregious. And so for those that haven't seen the trailer, it shows maybe a second or two of actual gameplay, and it's exactly what you expect from a basketball game, where it's just a guy pulls up, shoots a basket, makes it. And then they mostly show like the character celebrations doing their taunts on the court, and it keeps cutting to the Ultimate Team. And that's the FIFA term. I don't know what the term is for the basketball or the NHL. They all call it different. It's Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Where you open random packs, like card packs, like your tops or what have you, and you get, whether it's character boosts or actual NBA players, whatnot, and so on. And the initial idea of Ultimate Team came in FIFA, where you go and you could put in actual money to buy packs, right?
Yeah.
But it was like the first year it ever came out, and I go, I don't want to spend any money on this. And all the mechanics in the game allowed you to get currency at a pretty good pace, right? and it was equal to kind of what the better players were going for on the little free market to maybe spending a similar amount and getting, I guess 2/3 of that amount you would spend on one player, you could spend on getting a pack with the in-game currency that you'd earn playing the mode. Well, over time since then, since I want to put that at 2008-9, so over the last 10 years, they've just kept evolving and expanding this into more and more just, we're going to concentrate on the whole random aspect and putting money into it part, rather than the fun actual gameplay part with the single-player tournaments or tournaments you can enter on your own. It's all about the gambling aspect rather than the game aspect. That's how it's shifted over time. So the rest of this trailer was literally just showing you the gambling aspects in the game.
Yep.
It's showing you a slot machine. It's showing you a pachinko machine. It's showing you the card packs being opened. That was the whole trailer. And of course they have guys in a corner on a Let's Play cam going, yeah, this is awesome. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, rare card.
Yeah. It is super scummy.
Yeah. So that's, we hate it. Don't buy NBA 2K. I say buy NBA 2K9, if anything, because that had one of my favorite franchise modes ever, where you can get 6 players into it.
Oh, yeah.
And you all pick your own teams and then play seasons, and you can draft and all that. I really liked that. I miss franchise mode with that, where you can play with a friend and keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Better news. Let's move on. This is just a tidbit. Super rare game discovered and now emulated already. It's a old Konami title. It's called Space School. And it was so rare because it was never available commercially. It was only available to schools, educators. And a Russian YouTuber got his hands on a copy, and he had to also get because the game doesn't just go into the NES. It has to go into this modulator into the NES with the game working, and the modulators usually don't work.
Oh.
Yeah. But he got not only a working copy of the game, he also got a working modulator.
Oh.
And then another Russian guy, he's one of these well-known emulation guys. He was able to reverse engineer the game, so now it's already being emulated. And there's 6 games, and he's got 3 of them already emulated online that you can play.
Nice.
Yeah, and I looked at the video of the game, and it's an educational game. It looks pretty neat, but the music is so cool to this game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I should check it out.
You know what? I can play a little bit of this music. Just give me a hot second right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to that Polygon link that I posted in the agenda there, and you scroll down to the Twitter post from Frank Cafaldi the Last, you'll get his music. So I'm going to play the music right now. Here we go. Come on, play. There it goes. Yeah, it's pretty kick-ass music. Yeah, Space School Volume 5 opening. What it's called. So yeah, pretty kick-ass music. I I quite liked it. It's just a cool thing for game preservation, you know?
Yeah.
Other news, Yakuza 7 is officially announced, even though we were all under the impression that Yakuza 6 and the release of Judgment was going to be the end of the Yakuza franchise.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it was announced that that Yakuza 7 is indeed coming, and it's going to be a turn-based RPG game.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So talk about putting a spin on a series.
Yeah, really.
I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm if it's still going to be the same like crazy story, in-depth characters, and instead of a beat 'em up game, a brawl beat 'em up, and it's going to be this turn-based RPG, I'm all welcome. I'm going to welcome it.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 7 games of all the same style already. 6 including Judgment. Fucking bring it on. I love turn-based RPGs.
Nice.
What do you think? Are you a fan of the Yakuza series, or have you never delved into it before?
I've never played a single one, although I'm interested in playing Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 0 is a great start. I highly recommend that one. And then go into Kiwami. You can play Kiwami 2. They're all affordable. I think you can get all 3 of those for $20.
Oh, nice.
Or less, yeah. And then they're just releasing Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remastered, also on the PS4.
Oh.
And there's going to be a special collector's edition in February next year, where all 3 of them come on a disc.
Nice.
Currently, only Yakuza 3 remastered is available digitally, and it just came out like a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
And when you buy the $60 digital game, it'll later come with, as free like add-on DLC, 4 and 5.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll come out like every 2 months until February. So as a complete package for 3 games for $60, that's $20 for each game. That's a good price.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So I'm personally going to hold off until February next year and get that special collector's edition, because that'll then give me a physical copy of all the Yakuza games on my PS4.
Nice.
And that would just be really cool to have.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I can just install them later, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, Yakuza 7 turn-based RPG coming. Bring it on.
Nice. I'm just wondering how it's going to really function. Is it mostly hand-to-hand combat, or will there be guns, knives?
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of pulling steel.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of gun draws.
Yeah. Plenty of pile drives.
Right. Pile driver move. Yeah, wrestling moves as special attacks. Hell yeah. Bring it all on. Kung fu taekwondo moves. Come on.
Maybe
there's a lot of possibility in there.
Or do like Kratos and throw one enemy into 2 others.
Yeah, you'll have to line them up in certain ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You a Shovel Knight fan, Colin?
I've played the original version on my 3DS. I've beaten it. I just haven't played any of the DLC.
So Plague Knight's really hard, but I think King Knight is out, or it's coming out soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering.
Spectre Knight's a really cool DLC.
I'm thinking about like getting the complete edition on PSN. That way, I have it on my PS4 and my Vita. Although,
yeah, I'm
not sure if the DLC is available for free on 3DS. Maybe I'll look into that.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
That would be.
It definitely is on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shovel Knight Dig was announced, and apparently has already been a year in development.
Oh wow!
So I looked at a little screenshots and everything. It looks like Spelunky a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So instead of being side scrolling, what you do is you use your shovel to dig lower into levels.
Oh yeah.
And then it plays like Shovel Knight from there.
Nice.
So I like that. It's again putting a little spin on the franchise instead of making a sequel 2D side scroller, right? Which they could have easily done and probably sold the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Put a little spin on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. Disney Classic Games Collection is getting some remasters of Aladdin and Lion King to all consoles and PC this fall.
Oh, yeah.
So we played both Lion King and Aladdin for the podcast.
Yeah.
We loved Aladdin. We did not like Lion King. Because it was egregiously difficult and stupid. However, it seems the remaster people know this. So the upgrades to these games will be save states.
Uh-huh.
So it immediately makes the game beatable. A rewind feature that will let players jump backwards up to 15 seconds.
Oh, wow. Going all Prince
A
of Persia.
level select. Yeah, exactly. They're putting the Prince of Persia mechanic into it. A level select. And invulnerability options and infinite lives. So there was no reason for you not to be able to beat these games anymore when this comes out. Yeah. I believe they said it would be released for like $30. So very affordable price.
Nice.
Coming to everything. So fun. I guess that'll very much make Lion King much more playable. And then you can get past the lava stage in Aladdin. You remember the rising lava stage?
Oh, do I ever? Of course, I played the DOS version, and I think I actually beat it in the end. But yeah, the lava stage was pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't remember if I beat that on the Genesis when we played it for the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So that was good news. So, before we get into our topic, or our theme, here is the question of the cast. What console do you think had the best launch for games? Not the console itself, launch title and price. I'm talking, it's games that came upon console launch. And have you ever bought a console at launch, or at least within the first month or two?
Well, I can answer the second one pretty easily. Short answer, no. I've never bought a console on launch.
Not even within a month or two?
Well, actually, I just remembered. Yeah, I bought a Game Boy Advance at launch, and it had a pretty good lineup. I mean, it had F-Zero Maximum Velocity and Super Mario Advance, and I think Super Mario Kart Circuit.
Here, I'm gonna give you this link.
Okay.
It has a list of all of the console launch titles. I'm gonna put it in podcast content here.
Okay.
There you go. Game Boy Advance had what were the games you said again?
There was F-Zero
Mario Advance,
F-Zero Maximum Velocity.
Yep.
Super Mario Kart Circuit, something or other, whatever it was called.
No, that was not a launch title.
Oh, well, there was definitely Super Mario Advance.
Yes, that certainly was.
And maybe Castlevania Circle of the Moon? Can't really remember.
That was indeed a launch title.
Ah, perfect.
Game Boy Advance had a very strong lineup if I'm looking at here. Even Fire Pro Wrestling.
And Rayman Advance and Earthworm Jim. Army Men Advance.
The games were definitely there. There's no doubt about that. No Pokemon. That's surprising to me.
How peculiar.
Yeah. So, my first console was an NES. If you've long-time listener to this podcast, you know that already. But I did not get it in 1985. I was not born yet. I got it in 1991 when I was 3. And then I had it until 96, until the PlayStation came out. PlayStation came out in 95, so I ended up getting that for Christmas a year after its... a year and a few months after its launch. That's when I got my PlayStation. Yeah. The PS2, I got the Christmas right after launch, so it was in 2 months. And my PS2 games that I got at launch was Armored Core 2.
Yes.
Tekken Tag Tournament, because I was a huge Tekken 3 fan.
Uh-huh.
And SSX. Not to be confused with SSX Tricky.
Ah, yeah.
Just SSX.
Yeah, Tricky was the sequel, I believe.
Yeah, and I remembered a lot of my friends had Tricky, and I had SSX. And then I believe later I ended up getting SSX 3.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, but so I had those 3, and I thought for the longest time that my brother, his game that he wanted was an ATV game, and I thought it was Smuggler's Run, but as it turned out, it was ATV Off-Road Fury. I'm like, makes sense. So, the PS2 has a very, very large launch title, or launch lineup.
Nice.
Not a lot of heavy hitters, though, and I think that's what kind of hurt it a little bit. But it was a big library of games.
Ah, yeah.
Just right off the bat with the PS2. I believe it came out the same day in Japan? No. Yes? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I was very surprised with the Nintendo 64 US launch. It had Pilot Wings 64 and Mario 64. That was it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I remember that.
2 games. 2.
Wow.
If you remember from our Console Wars episode, which was one of my favorite we've done to date. That was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen to all the commercials and everything. Talking about 2 of the best games on each console. The Super Nintendo launched with Mario World and Pilot Wings. What does the 64 do? Like the same thing, but with less games. So I'm gonna throw my hat in for the PS2.
Oh yeah,
as having the best launch titles. So because there was just a lot to choose from, you weren't limited. If you're a sports fan, there were sports games, driving games. It had everything for everybody and multiple titles at that.
Oh yeah.
PS3 had a shitty launch. Titles included. I thought the Bouncer was a PS2 launch title, but I guess I was mistaken. It must have been like around the launch window.
Oh yeah.
It must have been. So what are you throwing your hat in for the Game Boy Advance? Because that's a good one.
Yeah, I think I will, just to be different.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the launch titles, and it's strong. But yeah, what history tells us is when a console comes out, its titles are very limited.
Oh yeah.
And you don't get a lot of like originals. Sports games, racing games are always like the 1-2 punch, and then you might get an interesting little curveball every now and again. Because I'll give you an example. The Dreamcast seemed to have a really strong launch lineup.
Oh, yeah?
It has Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure,
Oh,
Power Stone is kind of your left turn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then you have your fighting games, racing games, and sports games. Fighting games, racing games, sports games.
Yeah, I see Monaco Grand Prix on there.
Yeah, it was playing a lot off of the Genesis, like, best games kind of situation. But yeah, Monaco Grand Prix racing game, Hydro Thunder racing game, Soul Calibur fighting game, Tokyo Extreme Racer racing game, NFL Blitz 2000 sports games, NFL 2K sports.
Yeah, I recall Ready to Rumble Boxing being one of the big advertised ones.
And what is that? It's a sports game.
Yeah. Well, sort of a hybrid sports game fighting game.
Yeah, okay. It is technically both. All right, so tell us, hit us up on Twitter at BowlingJD, at MogJam23. I have that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, you need to get a profile picture on your Twitter, Colin.
I've been too lazy or too busy.
People won't follow you on Twitter unless you have a sick avatar. Okay, you need to get your Twitter game going. Otherwise, I won't tag you anymore.
I'll see about framing the skull face of the cover of Mogworld.
Yeah, that's better.
It's something. That's infinitely better.
So, everyone, listeners, tell us what you think the best, the console with the best launch titles were. Have you ever gotten a console at launch? What was your experience with it? Because I played the PS2 for the next decade. It was awesome. That was my thing. I brought it to Germany with me. The PS3 came out. I was still living in Germany, so I was a poor college student at that point. Wait a minute. No, I was in high school when the PS3 came out. Fuck, I'm getting old. I was graduating high school when the PS3 came out, and I was in Germany, so I had my PS2 still. I was still playing FIFA, like 05, and Prince of Persia 2, Warrior Within.
Nice.
That was what I was doing. But when I first started college, I got my PS3, so it was like a year after it came out.
Nice.
I did get a Switch and PSVR launch day.
Oh, yeah.
I did. So I've gotten 3 consoles in that little window.
Cool.
I'm glad I did get a Switch launch day, because they were like out for the first, 4 months?
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't get one? Yeah. That was crazy. Okay. Let's move on to our friggin' theme.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think we've heard that Twisted Metal music since we covered Twisted Metal on the cast, and I like that soundtrack so much I put it on there, and people really seem to like the commercial ads the most.
Oh yeah.
With, a lot of the audio drops and everything. So
cool.
If we play a game and there's some sick, awesome music in it, I think I might just take a little snip and put it in the cast from now on. Takes no time to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. So, Colin, this was your theme pick this time, and I really like it. It really plays off the Console Wars episode quite a lot with our topic of the launch titles and what console we would have gotten in the time, so take it away.
All right. So, first on the docket is Fantavision for the PlayStation 2. It's developed by SCE.
Couldn't do SSX, could we? Couldn't do Armored Core 2. No, we had to play this obscure game, Fantavision. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm always up for new things.
I got inspired for this topic when I was visiting you in Rhode Island. We were at the retro game store, and then I saw this game in the bargain bin. And I just remembered seeing it around a fair amount. And I was always curious to play it, but never got around to getting it. So
I was looking at the Bouncer, but apparently that's not technically a launch title. It's a launch window title. So that could be even another theme. A game that came out within the first 2 months of the console launch.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun. So before you go into Fantavision, I went to Vegas in June. You remember this?
Yes.
So I went to a retro game store in Vegas, and they allowed me to get a free game that was under $5.
Oh.
And I was like, all the games I wanted were $7. And they go, no. I go, well, can I get the $5 free and then just give you $2? They go, no, it's against the rules. I'm like, oh. So I'm looking, and finally I had enough, and I saw Fantavision for $5, and I went, mine! Free! Give it to me, so now I have it.
Nice.
I got it for free. Now I have Fantavision. So I was able to play it more for this podcast, rather than the 20 minutes you and I played it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was developed and published by Sony Computer Entertainment, Released on the PS2 in Japan in March 9th, 2000. In North America on October 25th, 2000. And in the EU on November 24th, 2000.
In the year 2000.
Yeah.
You have to really emphasize the year.
2000. The year 2000.
The distant future past.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I was always curious about this game around the time the PS2 came out. It's like, was it a rhythm game, a puzzle game, an action puzzle game like Tetris? Was it like the columns of the new generation of game consoles? That is, columns for the Genesis. And then, yeah, we played it together, and it was fun, at least for a while. Graphically, the game is gorgeous. The fireworks effects and the colors are quite pleasing to the eye, and I like the backgrounds too. Something about a city lit up at night from a distance just captivates me.
I don't disagree with that statement.
It's got decent music, although it's not something I'll go out of my way to listen to on YouTube or anything.
It's not Twisted Metal, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't have Rob Zombie in the background. Which, side note, that's how I discovered Rob Zombie.
Nice, nice.
It was Twisted Metal 3. I was like, who is this rockin' dude?
Funny enough, I think it was Tony Hawk's. I think it was a Tony Hawk game that got me to discover Rob Zombie.
You know, now that you mention it, the soundtrack in Tony Hawk Pro Skater did get me to listen to those bands as well.
Ah, yeah.
Fuck, there's a theme.
Tony Hawk games? Or...
No. Soundtracks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That'd be
like
pretty
licensed soundtrack games.
Yeah, of course, we've already played Crazy Taxi.
But we haven't played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Twisted Metal 3.
Ooh. Those would be pretty sweet.
Wait. I'm going to have to... Continue about Fantavision while I look this up. I gotta make sure.
Yeah. So, gameplay-wise, Fantavision is serviceable, although it gets old after about half an hour to an hour. It's like, basically the way it works is you have this circle on the screen, and whenever you point the analog stick in a certain direction, you see like a line appear, and then these like firework sparks of certain colors rain down from above. And you have to line up the little laser from your circle with one of these sparks, then click like, I think, square or circle. But yeah, you click on that, and then it'll select that spark, and then you have to try and go from spark to spark, selecting many of them of the same color, as many as you can, and then hitting another button to explode them into fireworks. And then yeah, you just try to chain together all those different same color chains and get as many points as possible. It's a very arcadey title.
It's very arcadey. The versus mode was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So the whole game itself, when you play single player, clocks in around 3 hours.
Yeah.
So you said that the gameplay kind of gets old pretty quick within an hour, and luckily the game's not that long.
Yeah,
where it would become overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this, though. You can actually use the sparks to create the daisy chain combos. So after you explode a firework, those sparks themselves are the one. So depending on where you make the firework explode, helps increase your points. So when you and I were playing, I was like, why are you getting more points than me? I could never figure it out. And it was mostly because I was detonating the fireworks as soon as they come on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of having them go all the way to the top, and then they'd rain down on other ones that would come.
Oh, yeah.
So you're supposed to make it go like vertically down to increase your point total. I went, oh my god. I looked it up, and I was like, oh god, that makes so much more sense now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was exploding them low and working my way up, the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
So the sparks were never coming in contact with the other fireworks I'd detonate.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed that myself when we were playing, or even when I was playing by myself. But now that I know, it makes more sense.
Yeah. And then matching the colors gives you certain combos. You're supposed to daisy chain the colors. The versus mode is definitely like where all the fun's at.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. You can swap colors, and if you do it at the right time, you can really fuck your opponent up. That's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
The screen will get bigger and smaller depending on attacks you unlock. There's other aspects of like certain fireworks that come on screen. You can activate that. It's pretty cool. It's very simplistic.
Yep. I have the feeling this game was mainly a tech demo for the graphical capabilities of the PS2, and it definitely succeeds in that regard.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. For its going price of like $3 to $5, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth a good 30, 45 minutes with your friends, challenging each other. I tried playing the single player mode. I'm right there with you. After like half an hour, I'm like, man, this would be better with my friend Colin next to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little torn. I mean, I guess multiplayer gets a soft pass from me, but single player gets a soft fail.
I 100% agree with that. Without a doubt. Multiplayer was fun. Single player, not so much.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Ooh, this next game. Very excited.
Oh yeah. Next game is Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. Developed and published by Nintendo.
You don't say. No way. Lying.
You're right, I'm lying. It was actually EA.
It was published by EA, developed by Capcom. The booze you must collect are actually microtransactions from the future.
In that case, I owe them $1,000 at least. But yeah, it was released on the GameCube in Japan on September 13th, 2001. And in North America on November 18th, 2001. Major missed opportunity, if you ask me. They should have released it on Halloween. But anyway.
Yeah, why'd they wait till November? Just release it in October. Come on. Come on. Well, I think they're releasing Luigi's Mansion 3 on Halloween.
Oh. Well, then.
I think they are.
There they go.
I think. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That's going to happen.
Nice. Well, anyway, it was also released in the EU on May 3rd, 2002, and in Australia on May 17th, 2002.
Australia getting the big hose on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Luigi's Mansion was just too mature for Australia's strict gaming laws.
Too scary.
Too spoopy.
Yeah.
Rated M for mature.
Right up there with Siren.
Ooh, that's a spoopy game. Did we cover that on the podcast, or was it?
No, I just remember picking it up at the Retro World Expo we went to last year.
What was the? You know what? Keep talking. I gotta look up the two horror game episodes we've covered.
Yeah, I was tempted to for one of them, but I ultimately went with Resident Evil 3. But anyway,
that I definitely remember.
I remember Luigi's Mansion being available for demo play in a lot of game stores around the time the GameCube came out.
Fatal Frame, that's what we played.
Yeah. And I always had a blast playing Luigi's Mansion. It was so much fun. Basically, the premise is as follows. Luigi is delivered a flyer saying he's won a mansion. And before he can go, Mario goes ahead to investigate, but doesn't come back out. Luigi goes to investigate himself, but gets attacked by ghosts. But along the way meets Professor Egad. Get it? Who gives him the Poltergust 3000, a special vacuum for fighting and capturing ghosts. and goes into the mansion to try and rescue Mario, who has been trapped in a painting by King Boo, and Luigi must get him back out. So basically...
So we've covered Sunshine.
Uh-huh.
Now we're covering Luigi's Mansion. Mario gets a water hose.
Uh-huh.
Essentially. A shop vac. that spurts water, and then Luigi gets the shop vac that sucks.
Yeah. Well, it also spurts water and fire and ice.
Yeah, you're right. He gets the upgraded shop vac.
Yep. The Proton Pack shop vac.
Well, EGAD is the one that made the Mario Sunshine weapon.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I mentioned that when we covered it.
Yeah, the continuity. Yeah. Nintendo, good job.
Yep. Yeah, I really like this game. There's so much detail in everything. I mean, it's got absolutely fantastic graphics for a GameCube game.
Mario.
Yeah. Mario.
You will hear that a lot. There's a whole button for it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the action button whenever you're not actually actioning something.
Yeah, it's Mario.
Yeah, there's actually a nice little touch that when you're low on health, Luigi sounds even more scared when he's saying that.
Attention to detail. Cross those T's, dot those I's.
Yeah. There's all sorts of little details. I mean, whenever he uses a key to unlock a door, you'll see like a little animation of him inserting the key and turning it.
Yeah, and his hands shaking a little bit, especially when he's opening it for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. And like I said, the lower the health, the more scared he sounds when calling for Mario. And when you're in the light, he'll whistle the background music, but in the dark, he'll hum it.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I've played this game so many times, I just kind of picked up on it. And looks like this is one of the few games where Mario is the damsel in distress.
Damn right. It's about time.
The only other one I can think of is Mario is Missing.
Yeah, we forget about that one.
I think I actually considered Luigi's Mansion for the damsels in distress episode, but I went with something else ultimately.
I'm very happy with that now we're covering it rather than then.
Yeah, and the gameplay is very solid for the most part. I mean, you shine a flashlight on a ghost to stun it, and then vacuum it up.
Suck it up.
Damn right.
Just like his fear, he's got to suck it up.
Yeah, basically, if you see the ghost's heart and then shine the flashlight on it, that's when you can stun it, and then that's when you can vacuum it. Works like lassoing an animal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the ghost is caught in the vacuum current, and then you just keep pulling on it until it gets sucked in.
It's got a big Ghostbusters theme to it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sucking up the ghost, going through the mansion, the hovering boos coming at you just instead of the green Slimer.
Yeah.
Boss battles are they remind me a lot of the big Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was like, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, I at least that's the vibe I was getting from it. But anything with ghosts and you're using a vacuum to suck up ghosts, Ghostbusters, come on.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and like I mentioned before, as the game goes on, you get upgrades to shoot fire, water, and ice out of the vacuum.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, it's another way to expose the ghost's weak points and helps keep things fresh.
So the game is relatively on the short side, which I actually really appreciated. It was very easy to just pick up, play for a little bit, a couple hours a day, and I beat it in like 3 days. It was great.
Yeah, I really like that about the game.
I thought it didn't overstay its welcome. When the game was over, I just went, this is I had a fantastic time. I beat it in about 7 hours.
Yeah.
I found myself wandering here and there, looking for more booze. So that was my total playtime. I've seen people say that the game's too short, and I vastly disagree with that statement. I think this was the perfect amount of time for what this game needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. May even leave you wanting more, and you get more with the sequels, like Dark Moon.
Have you played Dark Moon?
I have. I haven't.
That sucker's twice as long, and it overstays its welcome.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's got more mechanics to it.
It's got more mechanics, but it went on way too long. I ended up just putting it down because I got that there is points in games where extending length for the sake of extending length leads you down a slippery slope, and that's what the sequel did to me. And I had played actually the sequel before Luigi's Mansion.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay, Luigi's Mansion, here we go. And when it was all said and done, I went, that was a fantastic amount of time I played. Each level where you're going around the mansion, it kind of pointed you in the right direction most of the time, or you kind of knew. I did get hung up at what I was supposed to do with the wall part, where it was going to retract. I was like, what do I do? It's a dead end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so I had to look that up.
Yeah, I think you see a button in the mirror and then hit it.
Yeah, I just wasn't quite looking at that. I didn't know. I just thought dead end, and I just never got to the mirror. Right?
Yeah,
so that's one of the turn around.
It's one of the mechanics of this game is a fixed camera. But I think in this case it works.
It does. So I mean, I did get hung up a few times. That was probably the biggest one. A simple little Google search, and I was like, oh, okay. Just gotta do that. Cool. Moved on. So I didn't waste a whole lot of time. I didn't find myself too frustrated on any bosses. I didn't feel frustrated with any booze. You know, if they got away, I was like, shucks.
Yeah.
Right? The boss battles were fun. Nothing got overly egregious, frustrating there. There's a lot of details that just never go unnoticed. Not unlike, well, the humming and whistling part, of course, but
yeah.
you get where I'm going with.
Yeah.
This game has that Nintendo polish, and it definitely shows.
I found the game actually does manage to be legitimately spooky at times. I mean, I remember the first time I played
that's a nice little mood.
Yeah. I mean, multiple times I would find myself genuinely tense whenever walking into a dark room and waiting for a ghost to pop up. Just does the atmosphere really well.
Yeah. But yeah, I played this to completion. I enjoyed every minute of it. Easy pass, and I'm vastly looking forward to Luigi's Mansion 3 now, coming to the Switch.
Agreed. I give this one an easy pass as well. Much like Sonic the Hedgehog, it's a great starting point for its sequels.
Yes. It lays that groundwork quite well.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do Kevin's pick since he's not here today. He's moving into his new place.
Bastard.
With his waifu. So Kevin threw us a curveball on this one, much like your Fantavision. Mm-hmm. He picked a Game Boy title. Oh, Luigi's Mansion goes for about $30, so it's not too expensive.
Yeah.
Kevin picked a Game Boy title called Alleyway.
Yeah.
Goes for about $6. Developed and published by Nintendo. Released Japan April 21st, 89. North America August 11th, 89. And Europe September 28th, 1990. Game is only about 2.5 hours long. And it's literally a clone of Breakout.
Yeah.
Or Javanoid for for you Flash players out there.
Yeah. He could have picked Castlevania Circle of the Moon on Game Boy Advance, but no, he had to pick this one.
He picked Alleyway. So, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I played like 4 levels. I was definitely addicted, but then I popped in actual Super Breakout on my Atari and started playing that.
Yeah.
So you have a little paddle at the bottom. It's Pong, and you're trying to get the tiles at the top of the screen off with the bouncy ball.
Yep. This is literally just a game that I would play to kill time while sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
That is actually literally what I did. That all of my play of this game was me just sitting on the toilet.
There was a silhouette. The blocks make a silhouette of Mario, and you gotta knock them all off. So they put a little Nintendo spin on it. I was like, okay, all right, I get it.
Yeah, but there's not much more to it than that. It's just Breakout.
Yeah, so because it's a clone, and I didn't play a lot of it, as you said, it's a toilet game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I'm still going to fail it.
Yeah, I have to fail it too.
Yeah. So, hooray! That was Alleyway.
Shortest game ever to talk about on the cast.
Well, how many levels did you play? I only played 4.
I think I played maybe 5. I think I got to a second silhouette of a Koopa, but that's as far as I got.
Nah. I'll play Breakout instead.
Yep.
Or that VR game that I have that's VR Breakout.
Yeah, I think didn't I play that at your place one time?
You did.
Yeah, I forget what it was called.
We recorded it too.
Yeah. You just moved
whatever the name is. It's not important right now.
Yeah.
All right, my pick.
All right, let's go.
Kevin, you should have picked a better game.
Yeah.
Or a worse game.
Yeah.
Something we could analyze more or make shit about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
More toilet jokes. Okay, so JD, that's me. I picked Panzer Dragoon for the Sega Saturn. Wahaha! Sega Saturn game. Is it our first Sega Saturn game we've covered?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know either. No, it is not. I've played D. We've played D, and I played the Sega Saturn version.
Wasn't there also Mansion of Hidden Souls? That was a joint thing between Sega CD and Sega Saturn.
Yeah, but I think we all played the CD version because we can emulate that one at the very least.
Yeah.
But yes, I do have a Sega Saturn. I have Panzer Dragoon. It goes for about $30. Developed by Sega, not published by Nintendo. What I've written here. It's published also by Sega. Released in Japan March 10th, 95. North America May 11th, 95.
Ooh.
And in Europe August 30th, 95. So quick turnaround on them all.
Mm-hmm.
Clocks in around 2 hours if you're good.
Yeah.
I got to level 5, by the way. I'll get into that in a second. If you play on easy mode, you get cut off after 4 levels, and it says to be continued. So it just gives you a middle finger saying you're not good enough. Play on a harder level to keep playing the game. Like, fuck! So I had to start over and play on normal mode.
Jeez. Yeah.
But it served a purpose, because then I was good enough. I knew like enemies and where they were coming from, and what they were gonna do. So I just had to get a little better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what this is?
Yes.
What this game is, Colin? Because you don't have a Sega Saturn.
Correct.
So you couldn't play this game. You had to watch videos.
I'm sad.
Yeah, well, not, and the Sega Saturn's still very difficile to emulate with its 4 processors.
Oh shit.
So we're just gonna have to live with the game. Well, I mean, here's the thing though. It's an on-rail shooter, so you kind of know what it is just looking at it.
Yeah.
To me, this was like Space Harrier, but you're riding a dragon.
Oh yeah.
Am I crazy in saying that?
I thought it was a little more like Star Fox 64.
Another comparison, sure, yeah. So Space Harrier meets Star Fox.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Of course, this game came out before Star Fox 64, sir.
True enough, but I guess then you can just compare it to Super Nintendo Star Fox.
No. That's just crazy talk. Space Harrier. It's a segment. Okay. So it's an on-rail shooter. You're a dude in a desert. A little backstory here. You're a dude in a desert riding not a what's that Star Wars creature? On the ice world.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. A tauntaun?
Yes.
Yeah. You're
riding a desert version of a tauntaun. You're totally not in the world of Dune. A little scorpion creature kills your bud, and you chase after it. You're chasing the scorpion thing. You chase it into like this ancient facility or something, a lost temple, if you will. A bigger scorpion, which is like this biomechanical creature. So Sega really liked their biomechanical mutant things in their games.
Yeah,
we saw it in Phantasy Star in the last cast.
Yeah.
We're seeing it here in Panzer Dragoon. Big biomutant scorpion thing chases you, but apparently we find out there's these two dragon riders. So these mechanical dudes or whatever riding dragons, and they're fighting in the air, and they destroy part of the roof of this building. Big rocks fall, destroy the giant scorpion thing in front of you. You're in shock. Character falls on his ass and just like, oh, I lived. Then he goes outside to kind of check out what's all the hubbub out here, boys. And the bigger dragon chasing the blue dragon kills the rider of the blue dragon, and it lands kind of in front of you. And they have like an ET moment. It's like, touch my finger, and touch me. And he has like this mental telepathy thing where it's like,
I need an adult.
I need an adult. Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want to touch you. You're gross. You're dead. You got blood all over you. He tells him like, stop the dragon from going to like the tower. And so he ends up riding the dragon and chasing after. I don't get his motivation really at all. There is a wall of text that goes by too fast to read. But the gist is there's an Imperial army. They're up to no good. Stop them, right?
Yeah. Pretty.
And then after that intro, it's like a 7-8 minute intro. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I saw that.
1995. It's pretty cool. And then it just goes on to an on-rail shooter. Level 1 is a water city. Level 2 is Dune, aka the desert with the Black Dragon boss, with tornadoes everywhere. Then you go into a mountainous stage where face off against military assholes. So it's that's your first like real challenge to the game. Because after those first two levels, they're kind of easy. The third one, it's like the rule of threes. That third level always kicks the shit out of you. So that's your first challenge. So you might die there. And if you die in this game,
you die for real?
All the way back to the beginning. So you might as well die for real. You have to start over. If you get 90% accuracy in your shooting or more, you get a free credit. Yeah. Neat. So that's a cool incentive to do very well at the beginning levels, because level 4 is an old busted sci-fi like maze ruin, which isn't all that interesting, but it brings a different dynamic than, because you're in this enclosed space, that things are able to hit you a little bit easier than what you went through in the previous 3 levels. And it's the first boss fight where you can't use your homing missiles. So you only have 2 attacks. You have your phase attack and your homing missile attack. Right? And you can lock on like 15 targets at once to do the homing missile things, which is pretty cool. But this boss on level 4 avoids your homing missiles, so you have to just rapid shoot him over and over again while simultaneously dodging his enclosed space attacks, right?
Yeah.
And then, so if you're playing on easy mode, that's your final boss. It says, to be continued, get better. Essentially, fuck you. So you replay the game. On normal mode, you get to level 5, and it's a short level. It's like the Ewok Forest Land stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars reference in this game. It's coming from the not Star Wars fan, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's really tough Imperial ships. Basically, the first boss in the game is now multiplied by tenfold. And then you get to the boss on level 5. And holy fuck. Colin, take my word for it. This boss sucks.
Oh, yeah?
It is a giant Imperial ship with 2 forms.
Oh.
It sends out 2 penis ships at you that you have to destroy first. And I'm not joking. It's like giant blue penises. Phallic penises with like a blimp on them. Which might as well be a ball. You're a nutsack. Giant nutsack, okay?
Okay, Austin Powers.
Yeah. So you beat up the blue penis. It would have been better if it was like if they switched the colors, where the blimp part was blue, and the penis part was the phallic color. It was the other way around. So you have instead of blue balls, you have blue penis. Anyways, enough with the penis jokes.
Sounds like Dr. Manhattan's wondering where his genitals went.
Right.
Watchmen reference to those who don't know.
Yeah. So you're supposed to destroy like these three like turret towers on this ship, and then after that it goes into its second phase where it like flips upside down and starts shooting missiles at you. Red missiles you can't destroy. They fly at your face too fast, so you kind of have to stick to the edges of the screen. And also destroy these green missiles that come out, and then it has like these wings spreading. So that slows it down where you can fire at it. So the issue with this boss is if you get too close to it, you can't avoid it shooting all of its rockets and missiles and guns at you. So you have to turn around and kind of stick to a bottom left corner. I had to look at a YouTube video of this. Because I didn't like get it. I was like, what do I have to do here? You have to turn around, and this is where the gameplay is a little bit interesting for an on-rail shooter. You do have the ability to turn around as to fight enemies that are behind you. And so if you miss them coming at you, they show up behind you, and you have to take care of them. Otherwise, they have free shots at you. So it makes sense, right, for a dogfight.
Uh-huh.
Well, so you're on this boss, and you have to turn around, but now you can't see it firing at you, so you have to hope it doesn't hit you. And this is how I died, like, constantly. Because either I was too close, and then when I looked up the video, I was like, okay, so how do I know where it's shooting at me? I just have to pray it doesn't hit. And I died over and over again there.
Oh, yeah.
So, I didn't beat level 5. Couldn't get past it. I believe there's only 6 or 7 levels.
Oh, yeah.
And you can beat the game on normal, but you don't get the true ending.
Oh.
The true ending, you have to beat it on hard mode.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. What did you think of this game? I've been rambling.
I actually do remember playing this at Blockbuster as a demo game way back when. It's funny, I remember seeing the title written somewhere. Because of the font, I thought it was spelled Danger Dragon. And then later on, I saw the Z. I was like, Danzer Dragon. And then I finally looked up close and saw it was Panzer Dragoon. So that kind of threw me for a loop. But yeah, I remember when I played, I was going through like the desert section with the big frickin' sandworm that jumped in and out of the sand. And that was back when I really enjoyed arcade light gun shooters, so this was a nice little version of that sort of game. Now I remember later on wondering if this and Legend of Dragoon were in the same series, which is another great game, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But yeah, I guess they weren't.
No. Panzer Dragoon does have an RPG, though. It's called Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah, and I can tell whoever successfully re-emulates that game on a modern console is going to make a butt ton of money.
Yeah, reverse engineer the Sega Saturn copy.
Yeah.
Get the source code and everything all made.
Yep.
I
Because
think
a legit
the
copy of
developer
this
still
game
has the rights, though.
Yeah, a legit copy of this game is extremely pricey.
Yeah. I myself have the Japanese version of the game, and I watch like a Let's Play in English.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I'm able to play it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was able to use my action replay cart in my Sega Saturn, which is a high recommend for any Sega Saturn owner, because you get this action replay cart, and you can now play Japanese games on your Sega Saturn.
Oh, yeah.
And it functions as a memory card as
nice.
well. So if you know, the Sega Saturn has a watch battery in it, and it dies. Once it dies, you lose your save file.
Oh, shit.
So you use the action replay cart to transfer it to the working battery, right? And have backup save files. And you can put in cheat codes. So it also functions as like a Game Shark.
Nice.
What do you think I did once I kept dying on level 5?
Exactly that.
I used the piss of that action replay cart.
Nice.
Yeah. So I really like, and the other reason why I picked Panzer Dragoon for this cast and the launch title is it's coming back to and it's being ported to the Switch.
Oh. I remember.
Yeah, for the future. So I was like, this is a perfect time to bring it out in the woodwork, get everyone into it. I love Panzer Dragoon. I wish there was more mechanics in this one, because there's no gun upgrades. You just have the same 2 attacks for the whole game.
Yeah.
It's all about traversing the world, getting to the tower at your journey. And since it's only a 2-hour game from start to finish, assuming you don't die and you have to start over again, I think that's okay for the first title. In the second one, which is Panzer Dragoon 2, which is German for 2. Makes sense. It's pretty cool. Saga's the RPG game, and then I believe the series continues on the Xbox with Orta.
Yeah.
Which I've never played.
Yeah, I recall that one, but I never played it. I'm a little curious. You picked this one, but the more famous launch title, I think, for the Saturn would be Nights into Dreams, so I'm a little curious why this one over that one.
Because this is being ported to the Switch later, yeah. And Nights in the Dreams is one of those games I want to save for a special occasion.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because that's definitely a Sega Saturn game everyone talks about, is Nights in the Dreams.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that game, too.
Yeah, I give this one a pass.
I definitely give it a pass. It's a must-have for Sega Saturn owners. It's one of the more affordable Sega Saturn games, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
It has its history with the system, which, by the way, I have to say, the opening sound for the Sega Saturn is very enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
It's just that ring-a-ding-ling sound, kind of situation.
I should have a look at that on YouTube.
Yeah. It's an enjoyable sound. It makes it sound more techno and modern compared to the whole Sega situation with Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's kind of funny because when you look at all the Sega Saturn commercials of the past, it's very violent. Sega.
Yeah.
But then this one's very, very calm and enjoyable. Yeah, I really like Panzer Dragoon. It gets an easy pass. It's just when you get to level 5, it sucks ass. It's really hard. The boss sucks. I don't know how the game ends, but I assume you stop the dragon. I assume you stop the evil black dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite and least favorite, Colin?
Well, this will probably come as a surprise to no one. Favorite is definitely Luigi's Mansion. I mean, Panzer Dragoon's up there, but Luigi's Mansion gets it in the end. Just did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And least favorite, definitely Alleyway. I mean, both it and Fantavision are arcade-style games, but at least Fantavision looks pretty. What has Alleyway got?
Well, it's original, too.
Oh, yeah, multiplayer.
Yeah.
The multiplayer on Fantavision is fantastic, but Alleyway has no such thing.
It does not. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Do you remember people being very angry with Luigi's Mansion coming out when it launched instead of like a new Mario game?
Not really.
Apparently a lot of people were.
Huh.
That was the big controversy with Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
But then everyone goes, yeah, you know what? I like this game. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if there was one, I didn't hear about it. I just remember liking the game.
Yeah. I remember a couple of my friends going, what the fuck, Luigi's Mansion? I don't know what that is. That's not Mario. Then they end up getting it anyways. Oh, yeah, okay, this is alright.
I think I remember IGN giving it a 6 out of 10. I'm like, come on, guys. It's not...
They were of same mind. They're like, oh, if only it was a Mario game.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those...
Now IGN just gives everything 8s out of 10s.
Yeah. Seems to be one of those games that people remember more fondly as time goes on.
Yeah. I mean, I have my Game Informer subscription, an actual magazine subscription in 2019. It just comes with my little GameStop thing. So I read every magazine every month at work, and it seems like every review is, if your game's okay, it gets a 7. If your game's good by their standards, it gets an 8. If it's great, everything gets a 9, right? And if it's an atrocious game, it'll only get a 6 at worst. Right?
Yeah.
You just know. And I read their review, just a little side tangent, and we can go home here. I read their Wolfenstein 3 review, or whatever, the new one that came out.
Yeah.
Whatever that fucking game's called. I hated it so much, I don't even remember what it's called.
I know there's like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, or just plain Wolfenstein with the big blue skull. Lightning skull. Youngblood. Oh.
Yeah, Youngblood. I was like, this game sucks. I hate it. It's stupid. It's boring. And I read their review, and they're like, oh, these guys at Wolfenstein, they just get it. They know modern games. They know how to really innovate. I was like, they didn't innovate shit in this game. It's lazy. It's a budget title at $30.
Yeah.
They gave it like an 8.5. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's why I pay more attention to YouTubers for game reviews nowadays.
YouTubers and the Metacritic score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know how we got on that little side tangent. I don't know. It just popped in my head right fist. But yeah, this was a fun topic. It got me to like get a little bit of perspective over launch titles, how consoles get off to good starts. Because let's face it, the new Xbox and PlayStation are right around the corner in 2020.
Yeah.
Very curious to see what the launch titles are going to be.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they are too. I wonder if probably be more remasters like we saw with the launch of the PS4.
I think so.
They'll probably remaster maybe God of War or Yakuza 0 or maybe Spider-Man.
Well, I could see like ports of Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding being like, oh, they'll just call it that game remastered in PS5.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I see happening.
All right.
Yeah. So the 4 games were Fantavision, Luigi's Mansion, Alleyway, and Panzer Dragoon. This was episode 51 launch titles. Episode 52 is going to be over the theme parody games.
Yay.
That'll be fun. We're doing it. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Yeah.